So here we have at the Merriwa pasture demonstration site one of our soil moisture probes and full weather. This one has a full weather station that feeds into the Hunter soil moisture network. The Hunter soil moisture network's been a project now for a couple of years of establishing soil moisture probes and weather stations across our Hunter local land services area. Stage one of that has been the implementation of 9 probes in the upper Hunter, and some of those have a full weather station and some of those just have the probe and rain bucket that feeds information every 15 minutes to our Hunter soil moisture network platform that you can access. We would not have been able to do this without cooperators and stakeholders such as landholder grower groups, Upper Hunter Sustainable Farmers Group, Singleton Beef and Land Management Association, and corporate investors. Without this project, a partnership, strategic partnership, this wouldn't have been established. And it's only just the initial stages of it, and what's going to come from this is going to really help in the decision making in producers and agribusinesses and ag advisors to help you manage your risk and your farming system. Okay, so here we have the soil moisture probe. This up here is the rain bucket. It measures rainfall and is up every 15 minutes. It doesn't reset until 12 o'clock at night. The Bureau of Meteorology one sets at 9 o'clock in the morning, but this one resets at 12 o'clock at night. Then going on, we have the wind speed and direction and temperature, and in here we have our humidity, solar radiation and so forth. The information that we get from just this component here is shown on our platform, and it can help you with your decisions on, well, what is the temperature recorded, what has been my minimum and what has been my maximum for the area. But it also can help you if you're spraying. If you're out there spraying paddocks, and to know your delta T is part of a requirement. And if you're from around this area, or you know there's a probe in your area, you potentially can use the information off this to put down your delta T, just to see your droplet survival, potential drift risks and so forth when it comes to with spraying. From here we go, the probe is actually out in the active pasture. It's no good having it here where we're not growing any pasture, because it's going to give you a false reading of how much moisture is available to your pasture system. So it goes down to just over 1 metre, and we're measuring both soil moisture and soil temperature at 10 centimetre increments. And this gives us the importance of this information is to tell you with the soil temperature, well, when are my temperatures going to start, my winter pastures going to start being active, and when are they going to start not producing too much purely because of too hot or too cold. And it's same again with summer pastures. At what stage are they going to start firing up and putting on dry matter, vegetative growth, and at what stage is it too cold for those pastures to be active? And if you've got cattle in there and it's a tropical system, well then you know that, hang on a minute, there's not going to be too much new vegetative growth come out of that pasture system purely because of the soil temperature. It also helps you with indicators of when you should be sowing some of the tropical fodder crops that we have, summer fodder crops that we have, and also our winter fodder crops. Each of those pasture types has different limitations of when they can be sown, and the fact they have an effect of soil temperature on seed emergence, seedling survival rate as well. In regards to the moisture, it shows you from the rainfall events that we get how effective we have been at putting that moisture into the ground, putting that moisture into our bucket or our fuel tank. And then you can see, well, have I got from that rainfall, have we got 1 foot of moisture, have I got 2 foot of moisture, and then understanding how much of that moisture is going to drive production up top, how much of that moisture is going to turn rainfall into dry matter. This system here, as you can see, it's quite big, bulky. It was using a lot of moisture, and we did fill the profile, but purely because of the vegetative growth that we have here, it was really a lot of straws going into that bucket and pulling that moisture out. And what we're finding before last weekend's rainfall events is that there was only probably 30% of that moisture, of that profile's moisture available. And when we get down to those levels, yes, there is moisture there in that system, but the moisture, the plant would be realizing that and putting all their energy into growing roots to get to that moisture, rather than growing vegetative growth that turns into dry matter. Another thing these soil moisture probes will be able to help us do is measure our productivity. How well have these pastures performed? If we're weighing livestock on and livestock off a paddock, we can see how much rainfall we've used or moisture we've used to put those kilograms of livestock weight gain on. So it just helps us in benchmarking our performance of our pastures to work out when our pastures are highly productive and when they're not so productive. We all have a bit of an idea of that, but this gives us a bit of some figures that we can use to benchmark things. These probes, in showing us how much moisture we have underneath our pasture systems, they do it very effectively in our cropping systems, but we don't do it effective enough in our pasture systems. But when we're making that decision of putting cattle on there, and if you need to put another 100 kilos on that per animal on that, or 50 kilos, we can see how much dry matter we have in front of us, but we also know how much fuel we've got in the tank to get there. It saves the umming and ahhing. It helps us in our decision. You may be putting cattle on there to put on another 100 kilos or 50 kilos, but you may only have a third of a tank to get there. So it just gives you an idea of how much potential and how much ability that paddock there, or that pasture system, has about meeting what you require from it. So you can access this information from the soil moisture probes by visiting the Hunter Local Land Services website. Once you get to that Local Land Services website, on your right hand side of the screen there'll be a blue box and it will have programs and projects. Click on that tab, and then once you open up the next page, go to the left hand side of the screen, scroll down, and you'll see wording there that says Hunter Soil Moisture Project. Click on that, and then that'll take you through to the Hunter Soil Moisture Project page. It gives a bit of information at the top of it about what it all is, who have been our partners, and then scroll down from there and you'll see all the locations that we have. At the moment, we've only have 9 locations, but by the end of this financial year, we envisage that 9 will double as we are putting more probes into the Manning Great Lakes areas as we speak, and also in the Lower Hunter. If you require further information on the Hunter Soil Moisture Network, please do not hesitate to call one of our officers and ask to speak to someone from the Agricultural Extension team or myself, Sarah Giblin, and I'll be more than happy to provide you with some information about the Soil Moisture Network, whether it's been interpretation of them or purely just how to access that information.